What's going on, everybody? Got another teardown for you. Today we're doing a Cricut Icon Pro 2026. So one of the newer phones, but we're going to take this one down to the bare bones and show you guys how to take this apart. As always, fair warning, when you do take something apart like this, you run the risk of damaging it even more or possibly damaging the device or hurting yourself in the process. So please take note of your skill set if you're not there yet or not ready to try it. Just leave it to a professional. Otherwise, let's get right back into it. So first thing we want to do is take out the SIM tray. So we'll pop that off real quick. SIM tray out. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to heat up the back so we can pry off the back of it. I know it seems like I was heating it forever, but my heat gun's just not that great. So the normal one I use is much better. So you want to kind of get under here, find a good corner, and just gently is the key word. So you already scratched it a little bit. Slide up so you don't scratch it. Sometimes using a plastic piece is better. I'm just so used to using this metal spudger. For me, that's my jam. And everyone will probably do something a little bit differently. So you kind of, if you're getting into repairing phones, it's whatever you like, whatever system works best for you. So there's really no wrong way of doing it to a point. But sometimes the heat wears off and you'll have to add a little extra heat again, which is fine, not a big deal. Just looks like this. We just can use our hands over here. You just want to be careful when you're pulling this up, just because sometimes you can pull off a little bit too hard. Like this piece seems really tough. I just don't want to snap it or bend it, because then it's never going to be bent backwards again. All right, so there's your back cover. Got the sticky residue over here. You can peel that off and put new residue on. If you want to put it back together right, just don't use super glue. It looks kind of funky and it has a smell to it, and I don't think anybody likes super glue. So let's get this taken apart. Take all the screws out next. Sorry, try to adjust my camera here. You guys can see a little bit better. The other thing is, if you heat it up and you don't get a lot of this gunk off, sometimes it covers up the screws, making it a little bit harder to see if you left one in or not. I tend to miss one or two here and there. Looks pretty good on that side. Let's get under here. Alright, let's see if I missed any screws. There's something on the side over here. Looks pretty good. We'll find out in a second if I did or not. Next thing you want to do is you want to get in between this bezel over here and the frame. The easiest place to go is usually by like the volume buttons, because there's a little bit more flex, so you can kind of get in and pry out a little bit, depending on which way you do it. Spot right there by the sim tray. So we're just going to go around the border, just pull it up a little bit, gently lifting it up. Keyword is gently. I'm usually a little more rough on phones when I'm taking it apart, because I'm usually taking a part out of them. So don't mind me over here. You have your fingerprint reader right over here attached to it as well. So you want to push that out and pull this out, because as soon as you lift this up, if it's connected to it, it could rip. And it'd just be another part you'll have to sit there and replace. But there we go. Pop the mid-frame camera lens out. The volume buttons are still intact there, so keep those there. Those are the rocker buttons. Put that to the side. And let's look over here. We'll probably have a couple more screws in the motherboard. That's usually the case. I see one, so 1 and 2 right there, and there's probably going to be one in the charging port. So let's lift up this loudspeaker first and see if there's anything underneath. Okay, so we got the loudspeaker out. Don't see anything around the charging port, which is nice. So let's get these motherboard screws out real quick. Let me put that one right next to the coax, didn't they? Alright, now let's unplug the connectors. You have your main ribbon connector, your battery connector. This is your fingerprint sensor flex. We got that out already. Boom, done. So next we have a couple camera flexes and the flex that connects to the charging port right here down here. So we'll pop that open, lift up. So you see, I'm barely touching it and already lifting it up. Look at that, pretty nice and easy. Just go the opposite way and just gently pull those coaxes off, and there's your charging port. And you wouldn't mess with anything up there if you're just doing the charging port. You just take that out and start putting everything back together. We'll take these coaxes off. Boom, there we go. Then we have the cameras. I'll usually leave the camera flexes plugged in with the exception of the front camera one. I pulled that one out. So we got that one out. And like I said, if you're still just learning, just gentle is the key. Find a spot under the motherboard, push up a little bit, gently, lift up, and there's your motherboard. So we got still have the cameras connected to it, so now I usually go back and I'll take off the cameras if I need to. Just 1, 2. I usually keep them in sets, so that if they have more than one camera, just put them in like a little baggie and put them together. And so that's done. Look at that. A little motherboard. So now we have left is the vibration motor, the ear speaker up here, and the flex and the battery, your power volume flex over here. So I'll do the flex first, see how easy it comes off, and if I need to add a little bit of heat. Sometimes it's just worth it to throw a little bit of heat on there just because it makes life that much easier sometimes. It looks like I am pretty good over here, so boom. Lift up. That's me. Sorry, someone's probably trying to reach out about something. All right. Pull gently. Just don't want to rip it. And a lot of times what happens is you rip it, or you end up slicing that little button off, and then it doesn't click anymore. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not. All right, so that's done. And we'll throw a little heat on the ear speaker just because the ear speakers are usually my Achilles heel. I try to go too fast on them and then I end up breaking it. So I just know myself, and from my experience, it's easier just to add a little bit of heat. And look at that, how much easier that comes off, like butter. Usually if you look around the ear speaker, there'll be they give you a pry spot to go under and lift up, and it looks like it's over on this side. Yep, and it popped right out. And that's what happens with a little bit of heat. That's out, that's good. Got the vibration motor left. There's a pry spot right here. We'll just pry that up, and that's out. And now all we have left is the battery. And it looks like they gave us the pull tabs, which is nice when they work. Sometimes we still have to pry a little bit, but let's find out how tough it is. You know, I feel like the pry tabs don't work if you're, feels like I'm gonna bend the screen if I'm pulling so hard on it. All right, so that one's pretty tight in there too. Let's get our handy dandy spudger. And this is probably the hardest part of the teardown, because if you puncture this battery, you could potentially cause a fire. So I'm gonna be pretty gentle in this spot over here. Man, they got this thing really good in here, didn't they? Let's see if that made any difference or not. Very little. I basically want to just lift it up high enough to where I can get my fingers underneath it. I feel more comfortable pulling up on it with my fingers than I do with this tool, just because I don't want to catch, I don't want to set this phone on fire. Man, I really got this thing in here. So close. I'm almost there. Gently, gently. Wow. That is insanity. There's no point of those pull tabs in that case. Look at this. I was better off putting on heat on the battery than using the pull tabs, which is common to do, is put heat on the battery. So there's your battery, it's out, and your wonderful cover. There's your screen. Every piece is out, and if you're doing a screen replacement, have fun with getting that battery out. Best of luck to you. Thanks for watching, guys. If you can, like, subscribe, share. I'd appreciate it. If you got any tips for me, anything that you think would look better, just let me know. Good or bad criticism, I'll take it all. Thanks, appreciate it.